What up, y'all? It's the homie Dame. It's that time again. We're gonna be talking about some hot takes. I asked y'all to send me in your hottest, spiciest, most sriracha level takes on anything and everything under the sun. And now we're going to have a civil, thought out, and rational discussion about all of them. I'm just playing. I'm gonna make fun of all of your embarrassing opinions. People in the anime community use words like writing, depth, and influence like a metric an author has to hit, and then from that compare authors as if they're fucking sports players or video game characters with stats, or they power scale characters based on how much writing they have and how good their themes are. And despite all of this talk about writing these conversations are so devoid of substance. You know, this is something I've talked about here and there on the channel, but I don't think I've really gone in depth on it. The internet has really emboldened the idea of everyone is a critic. We live in the era of video essays on the most mundane topics and like in-depth 5-hour retrospectives on the literary significance of Amelia Bedelia. The prevalence of stuff like this has led the average content consumer to look at art in a lens that they don't really need to be looking at it through. So this goes towards this commenter's take. You'll have people loading up to watch a show already on the lookout for writing, depth, pacing, themes, whatever their personal definition of those things are. Now don't get it twisted, there's nothing wrong with doing this. You can consume entertainment however the fuck you want. If it's fun for you to take out a notepad to check for proper thematic depth and world building in Hamtaro, more power to you, I guess. But I do agree with this commenter's take. You don't need to look at art like this, and a lot of the time, the people who do don't really know what they're talking about with all these terms anyway. Even the credible people who do know what they're talking about are just saying their own opinions. Art isn't an objective thing. It's not like math where there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. Your favorite YouTube analysis channel's interpretation of an anime is no more or less valid than yours, even if they have a nice fancy degree from a film school and an undergraduate in English literature. So that means you don't need to be a critic when watching something just for the sake of being a critic, because it's all opinions anyway. New gen anime watchers should actually try to read and watch anime, instead see a guy sum it up in a TikTok. What? Y'all want to know something crazy? Some deep the homie Damian lore? Way back during quarantine, when I was first thinking about starting this YouTube channel, I actually considered being one of those channels that just summarizes anime. Like, y'all know what channels I'm talking about, right? They give like a recap of the show for people too lazy to watch it, which is an insane concept the more you think about it. But the joke was that I was gonna play the character of like this drunk, insane weirdo who would slowly get more and more fucked up as the video goes on. Then I'd start giving like wrong details about the show on purpose, or go on like a drunken ramble while trying to summarize things. And eventually that turned into those drunk binge reactions, except that wasn't me playing a character in those videos. It was just me legitimately embarrassing myself on camera while watching cartoons. It's okay not to have everything planned out after high school, as you're still trying to figure yourself out. No. Fuck you. If you're not a doctor with 12 PhDs making at least $500K per year with a spouse and 2 kids by the time you're 19, you are a fucking loser. I'm on my Asian parent vibe today, don't play with me. Shonen is less appealing when you grow older. Now that's a take I hear a lot. By definition, shonen anime is literally made for children, right? It's a demographic that's meant to appeal to 14-year-old Japanese boys. So the logical thinking is that older people and women would have no reason to like shonen anime, right? But obviously that's not what we see in real life. Plenty of adult men, and of course plenty of women, enjoy these shows that were meant to target squeaky-voiced little boys. So on that front, it's clear that people outside of the literal shonen demographic can enjoy shonen anime. But the take that I think this commenter is putting out is asking, I guess, if there's a correlation between age and your enjoyment of shonen. Not that older people can't enjoy shonen, because we just showed that that's not the case. Like literally, is there a graph where it's like the older you get, the less likely you are to enjoy shonen anime? And honestly, that might be the case. Again, we're just going by literal definition. If you are above the age of like 14, 15, 16, you may find it harder to enjoy something that was made for that age group. Like obviously, right? It literally wasn't made for you. But hold on, because we just established that there are plenty of well-rounded normal adults who enjoy watching things that were made for children. So what does this mean? Are these people stunted in their growth? Are they man children, or women children? Should people in their 30s feel a way for still being obsessed over Pokemon? Should you be ashamed to be a grown-ass adult still playing video games? Obviously the answer is no. One of my favorite quotes of all time that I like to bring up on this channel is this one from C.S. Lewis. When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up. Listen, y'all, the best part about being an adult is that you could do whatever the fuck you want. If you pay your taxes and have enough to meet your basic needs, who gives a fuck what you do with your free time? Whether it's spending all day watching cartoons made for children, watching adults play a children's sport and getting invested in it, or playing games that require the reflexes of a cracked out 12-year-old to be good at. You can do whatever you want, literally who gives a fuck. But to go back to the original take, yeah, I do think that the older you are, the less likely you are to enjoy a shonen. Just like if you don't like cooking, you're less likely to enjoy shokugeki. Or if you have crippling anxiety and you jump at shadows, you're less likely to enjoy the horror genre. Not everyone was meant to enjoy everything, and it's okay to feel like you're not the target demographic of something. And even still, despite all of that, you can 100% enjoy something that wasn't really meant for you. The example I use all the time is the movie Get Out. I'm not black, I may be a minority, but I'll never be able to truly understand what black Americans face. But that doesn't mean I still can't enjoy Get Out and appreciate it, or like another Jordan Peele movie. In the same way, just because you're 45 years old, married, and have 2 kids, doesn't mean you can't appreciate a high school romance filled with Gen Alpha kids, even though you might not be able to directly relate to the situation at all. So yeah, to summarize, who cares, like whatever you like, but also don't feel bad if you're older and shonen doesn't hit anymore. And also don't feel like you're a weird man-child if you're my age and still love watching One Piece or something. Oh, and I already know what you annoying anime fans are gonna comment. Well, shonen may be aimed at teenagers, but it's got really mature stuff. There's blood and gore and they swear and it's really adult. It's big boy stuff. Have you seen Demon Slayer? They like cut off arms and shit. It's not for kids. Including mature themes does not make a work of art mature. In fact, priding yourself on having adult subject matter to prove that you're an adult is just about the most immature thing you could do. That's what you see children doing. They try to be adult by emulating what they think adults do. Why do you think so many seinen anime are just chill slice of life shows? Because that's the real shit adults want to see. So yeah, no doubt a shonen can be written in a mature way, but don't hit me with those comments, bro. I get them all the time. Especially back during those Bleach videos. People were like, oh my god, 1,000-Year Blood War, so gritty and mature. It's uncensored, there's blood, and Bambi has her titties out. That doesn't mean anything. Bleach is still a shonen, and that's okay. That's what makes it good. Alright, I spent a lot of time on that one, but let's keep going. Solo Leveling is the I Am music of the year. Not gonna elaborate any further. This is embarrassing, but I didn't listen to I Am music. That's funny that this is the next take, because I would say that I'm getting a little too old to be listening to Cardi. But like I said, I can still appreciate him. I think he's, a pretty cool artist, but yeah, I guess I'll listen to the album eventually. Black Ops 2 is the best shooting game of all time. I've never played Black Ops 2, and actually the only Call of Duty game I've ever owned and played was Call of Duty 3. I'm kind of a history nerd, so I like the series back when it was World War II focused. I played the shit out of that game, I'm not gonna lie. What would be the best shooting game for me? Is it just like any first-person shooter game or like a competitive multiplayer online shooter? If it's just the best first-person shooter game, I'd say it's, I don't know, Half-Life 2 maybe? That's one of my favorite games ever. I like BioShock a lot too, so maybe that. Comparing eras is stupid in the NBA GOAT debate. Saying that Jordan would not be the GOAT because he couldn't play today is not valid. We should compare what was done in their respective era. Technology, rules, popularity, and game style/skill has all changed too much to be comparable. Yeah, I agree. Do y'all remember, I forget exactly who said it, but it was some former NBA player who said that Giannis would come off the bench in the 90s? That might actually be the most delusional thing anyone has ever said, and I've had people tell me that JoJo's is a good anime. A great basketball player would be great in any era. And yeah, context matters when talking about, I guess, anything in sports. We could say someone like Jordan would be trash today because his three-point percentage wasn't that high. But do you honestly think that if Michael Jordan played today with all the knowledge of the game that we have, you don't think he would develop a three-point shot? Of course he would. That's why he's Michael Jordan. Oh, and people always ask me this, and I know I'm from Chicago, born and raised, and I'm a lifelong Bulls fan, but I got LeBron as the GOAT. I know. Sue me, crucify me, whatever, man. I like LeBron. My favorite player of all time, though, is Derrick Rose. And you know that motherfucker would have been able to play in any era. Like, you know, a freak athlete like him. Come on now. How much aura different instruments have? Any orchestra instrument, bass, piano, drums, vocals, sax, and then guitar. This is formatted weird because are they saying orchestra instruments have more aura than playing guitar? Because that's definitely a hot take. I think most people would have this in the reverse order where orchestra instruments have the least aura and guitar has the most. I don't know. I play all of these instruments, so I couldn't really tell you. Except the sax. I mean, I play it. I'm trying to learn it, but I'm really bad at it. I'm not gonna lie. People have overvalued anime and manga to the point that every new show has got to be some subversive masterpiece with great writing, which makes people say shows like Solo Leveling are awful when it's probably one of the most purely entertaining shows out right now. You know, that's an interesting take because would you say the same thing for films? Like, because we have The Godfather, a movie that's almost universally acclaimed. Have we overvalued film to the point that we can't appreciate something like Marvel's Thunderbolts? I don't know. I don't think most people see things like that. Though, I will say if anybody would have a simplistic outlook like this on art, it would be anime fans, because anime fans are the worst. You only need 15 men to fight a gorilla. We're a little late to the party with this, no? If y'all don't know, there's like a meme going around on Twitter and TikTok, I guess, about if 100 adult human males could take on one gorilla with no weapons, just fists. And seeing the responses has shown just how little people know about not only animals, but about humans themselves. Humans are a social species, and we have survived throughout all of history and risen above the rest of the animals on this planet because of our ability to cooperate in large groups. Outnumbering a single animal like this is literally what we were designed to do evolution-wise. People don't realize how massive of an advantage outnumbering someone is, even if it's like a super strong, insane gorilla. Yeah, sure, not all 100 men are making it out alive. Let's make that very clear. But I have zero doubt that the humans will beat the gorilla 10 out of 10 times. Low diff. Isn't that what the power scalers say? I don't know. And I've seen some people saying, oh, you know, most of the humans would be scared shitless, you know, and they'd be useless. Most of them wouldn't even do anything. That's fine. There's 100 of them. It just takes a few to poke out the gorilla's eyes or even just tire it out until like 5 guys can jump it while it's exhausted. That's another thing. Humans excel at endurance hunting. That's how we were able to kill like gazelle in the savannah or whatever. We're good at outlasting animals. I think 15 might be a bit too low, but I think it's doable. Even if the human men are, you know, pathetic embarrassments that are built like me. I'd say the lowest, most conservative number for me would be like 40 or 50. And don't tell me about that stupid ass AI simulation. The humans aren't just gonna be randomly throwing themselves at the gorilla like it's Dynasty Warriors. Anime waifus over real female girls. You know, maybe the gorilla would win if these are the humans we're sending at it. Then there's a similar one that says femboys are better than waifus. I'm gonna leave that for the comments to discuss. I'm not touching that one.